Censorinus, writing in the 3rd century, attributed to Aristarchus of Samos a great year, lasting roughly 2,484 years. Though some scholars suspect this figure may have been a miscopy of 2,434 years. This value would have reflected a cycle of eclipse rather than a full axial precession, likely based on combinations of lunar and solar calendars rather than stellar motion. Oenopides, a pre-Socratic Greek thinker from the 5th century before the Common Era, defined a version of the Great Year lasting 59 solar years. This period corresponds to 730 lunar months and was mainly useful for predicting eclipses. His cycle was not about the stars or Earth's wobble, but about the periodic alignment of the sun and moon within a practical calendar framework. Hippocrates of Nicaea, who lived in the 2nd century before the Common Era, was the first known astronomer to detect and measure axial precession. Comparing his own star measurements with Babylonian records, he deduced that the stars were shifting slightly over time. He calculated the precession at about 1 degree every century, which suggests a complete cycle lasting roughly 36,000 years. Though this was a rough estimate, it placed him among the first to approach the Great Year as an astronomical phenomenon grounded in observation rather than symbolism. Following Hippocrates, the influential astronomer Ptolemy also adopted a Great Year of approximately 36,000 years. Writing in the 2nd century of the Common Era, Ptolemy preserved and elaborated on Hippocrates' work, and in his seminal treatise known as the Almagest. His estimate, though similar in form to his predecessors, may have also been influenced by prevailing cosmological beliefs that place the heavens within a static, unchangeable framework reinforced by numerological harmonies. Throughout the medieval period, estimates of the Great Year were often symbolic, inherited from classical sources without empirical reevaluation. Some sources gave values such as 24,000 years, while others retained the 36,000 year cycle. None of these were based on rigorous measurements of axial movement, which would only become possible again with the advent of modern telescopic observation. In the modern period, scientific astronomy has provided a far more precise estimate for the axial precession of Earth. According to contemporary calculations, the complete cycle of precession, in which the Earth's axis traces a full cycle in the sky, lasts approximately 25,700 years. This value has been derived from detailed observations of star positions combined with sophisticated understanding of Earth's rotational, mechanical, gravitational interactions and the forces exerted by the moon and sun. In the early 20th century, esoteric writers such as Rene Guénon, whatever, Rene Guénon proposed spiritual interpretations of the Great Year. Guénon suggested a full cosmic cycle lasting 64,800 years. This number was not based on astronomy, but rather an adaptation of traditional Hindu Yuga cycles, adjusted to fit his metaphysical framework. In his view, this cycle represented a gradual degeneration and eventual renewal of spiritual consciousness across the ages. Estimates of the Great Year span from symbolic and mythological to empirical grounded calculations. Plato described a perfect return of the celestial order without specifying its duration. Cicero echoed similar sentiments without figures. Josephus cited ancient Babylonian traditions that pointed to 600 years as a great year. Macrobius referenced a 15,000-year cycle from ancient philosophy. Censorinus recorded a shorter duration tied to eclipses. Possibly around 2,400 years. Wannapides proposed a practical 59-year cycle, useful for lunar prediction. Hipparchus and Ptolemy both supported a value near 36,000 years based on early measurements of stellar drift. Modern astronomers now understand the cycle of axial precession to last nearly 26,000 years. Meanwhile, spiritual authors like Rene Guénon adapted ancient values to propose cycles over 64,000 years to fit religious and cultural paradigms. Okay, getting me some coffee. I have never had to actually stop and have a conversation in the middle of a stream before, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is something else. So, here we go. And like I said, I'm going from there to switch to another one that I needed to, or because I wanted to do that one before I moved on. The last time I was doing calendars, so I wanted to do that first before I moved into my new areas. Okay. Dimethylamine is a secondary amine that plays an important role in a wide range of chemical processes, medical developments, and industrial practices. This compound is particularly notable because it features two methyl groups that replace two of the hydrogen atoms typically bonded to a nitrogen atom. These substitutions significantly alter the physical and chemical behavior of the molecule, expanding its use across multiple disciplines. A full understanding of dimethylamine requires exploring its chemical behavior, environmental interactions, production techniques, health effects, and applications in modern industry. Amines are a class of nitrogen-based organic molecules derived from ammonia, where one or more hydrogen atoms are replaced by carbon-based groups. In the case of dimethylamine, it is considered a secondary amine, meaning that two of the hydrogen atoms attached to the nitrogen in ammonia are replaced by methyl groups. This substitution results in a structure composed of nitrogen atom bonded to two methyl groups and one remaining hydrogen atom. The geometry of this molecule is trigonal, pyramidal, with the nitrogen atom occupying the apex. The lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen contributes to the molecule's reactivity, ability to form bonds, and general chemical behavior. The replacement of two hydrogen atoms in ammonia with methyl groups brings about a number of changes in how dimethylamine behaves chemically. One of the most noticeable differences is an increase in basicity. Methyl groups tend to donate electrons towards the nitrogen atom, which raises the electron density and strengthens its ability to attract protons in chemical reactions. As a result, dimethylamine is more basic than ammonia. As a result, dimethylamine is more basic than ammonia. Another important characteristic is the presence of steric hindrance. The two methyl groups are relatively bulky, and their spatial orientation around the nitrogen atom makes it harder for one molecule